Most people who visit Georgia only see Tbilisi, Kazbegi, and maybe Batumi, and then they leave thinking they've seen the country. But Georgia is full of remote mountain villages, hidden canyons, cave cities, and tiny wine towns that feel like a completely different world, and most tourists never make it there. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 hidden places in Georgia that regular tourists usually don't know about. Spots where you'll find quiet roads, almost no crowds, and some of the most dramatic landscapes in the Caucasus. Stay with me until the end because place number 1 looks like something from a fantasy movie, but it's completely real and still surprisingly under the radar. Welcome to Sky Truvio, your guide to smart luxury and off-the-beaten-path travel around the world. In this video, we'll explore 5 lesser-known places in Georgia, the country, not the US state. For each place, I'll quickly cover where it is, what makes it special, the best time to visit, and a rough idea of what you can expect in terms of comfort and access. Let's start with one of the most remote regions in the country. Number 5 is Tusheti National Park. Tusheti is a remote, high mountain region in northeastern Georgia on the northern slopes of the Greater Caucasus. To get there, you usually travel from Tbilisi to the town of Tlavi or Alvani, and then hire a 4x4 Jeep to cross the Abano Pass, a dramatic dirt road that's only open in the warm months. The main village, Omalo, sits on a green plateau with old stone watchtowers and views of wild mountains in every direction. It feels more like a place from a legend than a modern country. Tusheti is perfect for people who want silence, hiking, and simple local life. You stay in family-run guest houses, eat home-cooked food, and spend your days walking to nearby villages or just watching clouds roll over the peaks. An interesting fact, this road is often listed among the most dangerous and beautiful mountain roads in the world. That's why it's essential to go with an experienced local driver. For a short 2-day visit for 2 people, excluding flights to Georgia, you might roughly spend around $200 to $350 total for Jeep transport from the lowlands, guest house stays with meals, and small extras. The road usually opens sometime between June and early October, depending on snow. Tusheti is best for hikers, adventure travelers, and anyone who wants to see a very wild side of Georgia. Number 4 is Ushguli, Upper Svaneti. Ushguli is a high village in the Svaneti region of northwestern Georgia, often described as one of the highest permanently inhabited settlements in Europe. Most travelers reach it by first going to Mestia, either by a short flight or by road from Tbilisi or Kutaisi, and then taking a rough 4x4 track for about 2 hours deeper into the mountains. What makes Ushguli special is its forest of medieval stone towers built right next to family homes. These tall, square towers were once used for defense and storage, and today they give the village a unique fortress-like look, backed by glaciers and sharp peaks. An interesting fact, the traditional swan towers you see here are part of a UNESCO World Heritage Site, recognized for preserving a very old mountain culture. For a 2-day visit for 2 people from Mestia, you can expect to spend roughly around $40 to $80 for transport to and from Ushguli in a shared Jeep, about $40 to $80 per night for a guest house including meals, and maybe $30 to $60 for small hikes and extras. So in total, roughly $150 to $250 on the ground for 2. The best time to visit is from late May to early October, when roads and trails are open. Ushguli is ideal if you love alpine scenery, old architecture, and small, remote places. Number 3 is Vardzia Cave City. Vardzia is a cave monastery city in southern Georgia, near the town of Ispinza and not far from the Turkish border. From Tbilisi, you can get there by car or bus in about 3 to 4 hours, often passing through Borjomi or Okatse. The last part of the drive follows a river valley, and then you suddenly see a giant cliff cut full of man-made caves. The rock face here hides hundreds of rooms, tunnels, staircases, and small chapels, carved mainly in the 12th century during the time of Queen Tamar. Walking through the caves, you move between dark passageways and terraces looking over the valley. One interesting fact: at its peak, Vardzia could reportedly hold thousands of people inside the mountain, acting as a combined fortress and monastery. For a 1 or 2 day trip for 2 people, excluding flights, on-the-ground costs might be about $20 to $40 for entrance and small local transport, around $40 to $80 per night for a simple hotel or guest house nearby, and perhaps $30 to $60 for food and extras, so roughly $90 to $180 total for a short visit for 2. The best time to go is from April to October, when the valley is green and the cliffs are dry. Vardzia is great if you like history, unusual architecture, and quiet, dramatic landscapes. Number 2 is Martvili Canyon and Okatse Canyon. In western Georgia's Imereti region, not far from the city of Kutaisi, you'll find 2 natural spots that many visitors still skip: Martvili Canyon and Okatse Canyon. Martvili is a narrow gorge with turquoise-colored water, small waterfalls, and steep rock walls covered in green. You can walk along platforms and even take short boat trips through the canyon when water levels are right, feeling like you're in a hidden jungle river. Okatse Canyon, nearby, offers dramatic cliffside walkways and viewpoints where you stand above a deep drop and look out over forested valleys and rock formations. There's also a hanging bridge and glass platforms in some areas, which add to the sense of adventure. Most group tours rush to the more famous canyons in other countries, but these Georgian spots remain relatively calm, especially on weekdays and outside local holiday periods. Both canyons are usually visited as a day trip from Kutaisi or as part of a road trip across western Georgia. They're especially beautiful in late spring and early autumn when the trees are green and temperatures are comfortable. If you like combining light adventure with photogenic landscapes, Martvili and Okatse are some of Georgia's best hidden nature experiences. Number 1 is Katskhi Pillar and Chiatura. Our final hidden area is one of the most unusual landscapes in Georgia, the Katskhi Pillar and the old mining town of Chiatura in western Georgia. From Tbilisi or Kutaisi, you can reach this region by car or minibus in about 2 to 3 hours. Chiatura sits inside a deep valley with steep cliffs and a river running through town. Katskhi Pillar is a tall limestone rock column about 40 meters high, rising straight out of the valley floor. On top of this narrow pillar sits a tiny monastery and chapel. From below, it looks like a church floating in the sky. Chiatura itself used to have many Soviet-era cable cars taking miners from one side of the valley to the other. Some have been rebuilt, but the town still has a slightly surreal, cinematic feel that almost no foreign tourists ever see. For a 1-day or overnight visit for 2 people, you might roughly spend around $30 to $60 for regional transport or a shared driver, $30 to $60 for a basic guest house if you stay the night, and about $20 to $40 for food and small expenses, so total roughly $80 to $160 on the ground for 2. Spring and autumn give the valley its best mix of green hills and comfortable weather. This area is best suited for travelers who like strange, atmospheric places with a mix of history and unusual scenery. So, which of these hidden places in Georgia would you visit first? Tusheti, Ushguli, Vardzia, the canyons near Kutaisi, or the strange rock pillar at Katskhi. Tell me your pick in the comments, and if you want a full detailed video on just one of these regions, with routes, guest houses, and a deeper budget breakdown, let me know which one. If you enjoyed discovering this side of Georgia, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Sky Travail, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next smart travel guide. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.